Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. This webinar will be on YouTube, so I hope you guys can support it. My YouTube viewers, if you like what I do, and I think you do, if you can see any good for you, if this is helping you in your trading, if it's making any difference in your trading for you. And these are my daily webinars, just what we do in our trading room. You're going to get, remember I told you I'm going to update it every day. You see how we update it. We update it about 5 or 6 times a day in our trading room itself. Right now we are in the trading room and I'm recording this for you. So we do this like 5, 6 times a day. Me and all my senior traders who are successful help to make this possible. So if you would like to join us, send me a message on Skype. We have a live trading session coming up in February the 7th, which is next Monday starting. You will want to hurry up if you want to join us. It doesn't mean you can't join. Then you can join anytime. You can either pay full for the live session, or you can pay an installment and join when you're finished paying. Then you get to join the group. All right? It's oh, sorry, wrong one. Let me just type that. That would be, I have to put the MENGL 457. That's a Skype address. Why the Skype address? Some people ask me, they say, well, I don't have Skype. What should I do? Well, download Skype. It will take you 1 minute to download. Why the Skype? Because then all the communications we have is saved on Skype. So if you lost contact with the Facebook account that we are in the group, we can always go, you can always refer me back to your conversation on Skype, send me a message and say I lost, and immediately I will add you back. There's no question asked because I have all your messages there on the Skype. Now, if I don't have that, you will have to come and prove to me that you are the person you said you are. Whereas if I have all of that stored in Skype, that's your record to say, hey, I'm in your group, just add me. I lost my pass, I lost my phone, I lost whatever, right? I need to get back in, and then we will make it happen. That's kind of keeping a record there. So Skype, you don't have to be using Skype all the time. You can just open it for this purpose if you don't have it. Take you 1 minute to do. Just remember your password and your ID that you use for Skype so you can contact me again through Skype. Let's go. We were looking at this morning before we started the recording because we're looking for a sell setup. If you remember yesterday, I said you want the flag. Now you got the flag. Now you can sell. We were expecting this move down here. That is what we were expecting this to happen. We actually sold this. So we're expecting this to happen here. And then we're expecting it to go back. Now, if we're wrong and it drops, good for you. But this, we know these patterns and this is a possible pattern that could happen, right? It's a running flat. And we've seen that. That is why when we watched this yesterday, we said, let it make a flat, prove it's going to go, and then we'll take the trade. I'm going to start from the dollar index now. Dollar index, it came down a little more than expected. Remember I said yesterday, it could be a reversal, but we don't know that until we get proof of a reversal. That's a running flat. If you sell here, and you could have sold there, some of my traders bought the euro, you would have to be aware that when it breaks the low, if it starts to go back up, you can exit the trade. If you can't, then do it. Well, now it's consolidating here. This is a sell. If this consolidation stays here, that's a sell. What if it goes back higher? Well, then it's no longer a sell. We'll be looking for a buy setup right now. And you wouldn't get a buy setup now because if this is going to go back up, it is going to mostly go back up like this, come back here and then go. So you don't have to rush into a buy. There's no buy setup right now for you. But this could become a sell setup, and that means we will sell it. How far it's going to go? I have no idea. It could be the start of a deeper correction in the daily. I showed it yesterday. Watch yesterday's webinar on the daily structure for this piece coming back down here. Or it could just be a little bigger correction and still go up. Could it be part of this correction? It's possible. I'm looking at it and I think it's possible we can take it as part of this correction. All right, we're not going to go to the details of that here, but it's possible if it's a bigger expanding flat. Silver. We're looking for the sell in silver, and it's still possible. Silver is consolidating, so it's still a sell if you look at the bigger picture. We're still expecting it to drop. We kept it here because remember I said this is still in consolidation. That is actually making a very big flat here. You see this piece here? We're making a flat there. We're likely going to come back here. I'll be careful of this because you don't want it to tag you when it's coming down. I'll probably put it here now because you don't want this to tag you. This is actually making a bigger flat, just doing this. And if you get this, there's a good chance we might consider a buy. It's still a correction, but there's a good chance it could make 1, 2, 3 up. We might even consider the buy because with a flat like this, you're going to get an impulse that you could make profit out of, right? So let's see how this behaves, and we will be trading the correction to the upside. And that is dangerous to trade if you're a new trader and you don't understand wave analysis, right? That is a little dangerous. So be careful. While I'm on the topic here now, I will do a video this week, a very short video on how wave analysis should help you, how you should look at it, like the details. It's going to be a short video, about 15 minutes. But I would like all of you to watch it. So if you're watching this, and I would like you to really share that video, share it everywhere possible, because that is a 15-minute. It's going to show you how you can take advantage of wave analysis, not how to learn to understand wave, how to trade wave analysis. It's just going to show you how to understand it, how you can take advantage of it, how we take advantage of it. But that doesn't mean you're going to learn to trade wave analysis immediately. It's just going to give you a view of what we do, right? You would start to understand why and how it's going to be it's going to be good for you, regardless of what you've learned before that. So let's go. Gold. Remember, we said gold might be a possibility to go back up because we're looking at this one is a bigger flat in here. If you get buy setups in gold, I think it might be worth taking. You have to be careful. It's stretching a little fast. It's not that impulsive. It's stretching fast. So if you buy and it doesn't go, you would have to have your rules or your trade management rules as to when and how you get out of it. We do have that. When and how we get out of trades if it's not going. Now, sometimes gold go up very slow. I can go back and show you many times. Here is a good example. Slow, 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 but they move quite a lot upwards, right? So when you start to see that slow move, it doesn't mean it's not going to go. It just means you have to know how to manage it. There are many places, if you go back, you'll see some very, very slow movement, but it just kept going up. This one wasn't that fast, but the impulses are much bigger than there. I'm trying to find one where the impulses are slow, but they look, for example, this very slow impulses, but they kept going up. So if that is what we're going to get here, to retest this top, then you can trade it up. You just have to know how to manage that trade, right? Can it still drop? Yes, it still looks like a sell setup as of now because the move up is very slow. So keep an eye on this. This one, we are probably in the sell off again. It's still a sell setup. That has not changed. It's going down really slow. Call it the break-even trade. I'll go with the first and the second trade. 2 trades should be in this. Both of them, I'll take them as break-even trades. We're going for the third one. We want it to drop suddenly. You don't want it to make this, right? This is still consolidation, pull back, pull back, pull back. Eventually it will drop, so we'll wait and see. Euro, like I said, some of my traders bought it, the very aggressive traders with experience, bought this to the upside. You would still have to be very careful with it. But if you didn't, and you probably shouldn't if you don't have that level of experience, wait for this to consolidate here. And if this consolidation stays here, that's a buy. Right, if this consolidation stays here, it's a buy. If it comes deeper here, then we will assume that they're going to make a bigger flat here, probably go back up and then drop. So we'll have to wait and see how that happens. But a buy setup is forming here right now. It's not ready as yet, but it's forming. Right? Pound only sell setups. It's going up, but this is going up so slow and it's pulling back so deep that you're only going to go for sell setups. Aussie, definitely a buy setup. This is a very sharp move up. You're getting a flat here. It's still consolidating, but it's a buy setup. You don't have any sells here. So is New Zealand. It's a buy setup, but I think you'd have to be very, very cautious with it. You have a move up here. You're getting a flat here. It could end up going up really slow. So if I have to choose, let's say of all of them that I have, if I have to choose to put my risk on a trade today, I would either choose the Aussie or the Euro. So the pound and the New Zealand, although it might go up as consolidation, I'm not going to be buying them because the impulses are shorter, which means your risk to reward is no good. And there's no chance that they're going to go very high. Aussie could take off, even if all of them take off. Let's say I'm even wrong and the pound moves up faster than the Euro. I don't know that here. It's not a guessing work. I'm looking at how it's behaving now to decide whether it's going to be a possible high probability trade in the future. So the 2 high probability trades that I see to the upside while they're all moving up slowly is the Aussie and the Euro. That's it. That's how you use wave analysis. So yen, yep, you can actually take the risk of selling if you want. Some of my traders did that, but I'll be very cautious with it. Remember, we're still selling this. We're hoping that this thing could get back to the bottom here, make a new low, and then go. If you didn't take that risk yesterday, which is a little risky for most of you, if this pulls back here and make a flat here and then starts to drop, that would be a sell. Even if it just, let's say it does something like this and you sell it and it just dropped to this level, start to pull back. Keep a stop here. Watch this, how it goes back. It could end up doing this and then do this and then go. Right? So it's still going to go up. It's just that I think we're completing this bigger flat before we go because I really don't see how they take off with this there. In any case, If it doesn't give you the sell, let's assume that this just come back here very, very sharp to the top here. Any flag in this area will be a buy. You don't have a buy setup. So we're trying to see if we get a sell setup in it, and that's possible. Maybe today we get a sell. CAD, we're only looking for the buy on the CAD so far, at least the way it looks like this, and this looks like it's going to go back to the top here. So you might still get another drop, but it's not a sell. Unlike the yen, which is better sell setup, the CAD is not. So we'll wait and see. We'll probably, if we're going to buy the CAD, we wouldn't buy it here. We'll be buying it either here or even lower, right? Swiss, yep, definitely a sell setup. Now it's forming, right? Yesterday we looked at it. We were not buying the Swiss. We were assuming it's going to drop and break the low. We didn't have a sell setup. Now there might be one later in the day. There's a possibility you could take this. That's a very aggressive trade. This is a top. So if you take this, you'll be doing a very aggressive trade. What I would like to see is this pull back a little like this into this range, make a flat, and then we will go for this trade. What if it goes higher? Well, I don't care. I'm not looking for a buy in this. I know it can break that top, but I'm not looking for a buy. Not if I have unless I have a perfect buy setup. What would be a perfect buy setup? Well, this one actually breaks the low first, go back up there, make a flag here, and now we get a buy setup. If that happens, tomorrow you will see the trade. It's not today. So I would update tomorrow, and if you watch tomorrow, you will see if this pattern changed for the upside, what we would do. Right now, it's in this big consolidation. See, I think this is easy to see, right? You don't need you can see that sideways move. So you might want to put it here. I'm not putting it here. There's a reason why we're not putting that there as yet, right? But even if you put it there, we're still in a big sideways move. So we have to have more information to decide whether it's from here or from here. So from now, we will go with this tree. There's a reason why we're going with that, and that is because we have got the biggest consolidation here. Then we will add pieces. As this develop, it's still in this consolidation. As it develops, we will see how it goes, right? Then we will get the bigger picture, and then we'll be looking for the bigger impulse. Right now, we're trying to get small impulses. Europe, yep, that went up nice. If you got the buy earlier, it was perfect. And now you get the buy here. If you haven't got a buy earlier, you get this buy. You can look for this buy. It's pulling back. Let it pull back first. Let this pull back, and then that would be a perfect buy setup because you've got a sharp move in it. Let me just show for those who don't understand wave analysis. You've got this. I would like this to actually pull back here and then go. That would be a nice running flat. That should be a very good trade. If you take it now, you have to know how to manage it. If you got this one, that's good. Let's go back to the 1 hour now. And what you're looking for is for this to come back here and tag this stop like this. That's where, and then if that happens, we should get downside. Right? That is what I'm expecting. So at least one trade to the upside if we get it. Euro Oz, nothing. It still didn't drop. It's actually going to make a new high, which means that if we see this looking like this, and what I'm thinking is that this might be a running flat. We'll probably look at this as a possible running flat. Then we'll look at the bigger picture as a possible running flat, breaking that top, coming back here. And if you get something like this, you're probably going to go back up one more. So this would be more like this. An up move, down, an up move, down here, and then another up move. We will just put all of this together and then look for the sell from there. Can we buy this if we get it? Sure. Can you sell it if you get it coming down from the top? You can also do that, but we don't have a sell setup. It still is going up. That's not a buy. I would not be buying into something like this at the top here. That's a bad idea. And here's why it's a bad idea. You broke the top, you came back. You broke the top, you came back. You broke the top, you came back. What do you think would happen when they break this top? What are the probabilities that it's going to take off? 1, 2, 3. It dropped. What is the probability this is going to go? Or this one is going to come here and then go. So if I'm going to buy it, I want it from here, not from here. If this goes, I'm looking at the Aussie and I'm looking at the Euro to find a better trade. So do I have a better trade? I have the Aussie for the buy. That means this is likely going to come down, right? I have the Euro for the buy. That means this could go up. So if the Euro is the only one that goes up, great. If this move up because the Euro go up, perfect. We got the Euro trade. Why trade this? If this drops, or if this drop here because Aussie go up, we are not in this trade, we're in the Aussie buy. Can we get a buy here? The only thing that will make this go up is the Euro now because Aussie doesn't look downside. Euro CAD? Same here. I don't think we will get it anymore. There might be a very short trade here to the upside to break this top. In this sideways move, you might get a short trade here. We'll consider that, not the best trade. Euro New Zealand, definitely buying. right? So if you bought this yesterday, you should have tried to get it lower. My traders, I wasn't in the trading room yesterday for a few reasons. I was in only twice. I didn't manage to come in back. To explain to my traders why. So if you guys got it from here, perfect, right? Which is what I said you should do in the trading room, take it from. If you didn't, then what you do is you put it here, right? This is a little pullback. We will go with this one. We'll go with that running flat or still a running flat in the future. So this is a perfect buy setup. We'll go with that. So even if you took the trade from here where we had the entry order, I would close it positive, put the entry order here. You know why, right? If it comes lower from here, no problem, we'll deal with that. So we're only buying this one. This is the only one we're still buying. It has a lot of divergence in it, but we will still continue to buy because one spike will change all the divergence. Right? If there's a sudden spike, that divergence will change. And the reason we are only buying this is because we anticipate a very big move way back to the top here. And if this is the start of that move, you can see it's already looking very aggressive, similar to this one here. Then we would put it here. And we'd go, we're not putting the arrows yet because we're still hoping that maybe it's not the start, maybe they come back. But the more we go, the more it's looking like they're just going to continue to go. So we're looking for buy setups only. Euro Swiss. Okay, if you took the trade, you closed it a very long time ago. Probably should have closed it in this one here. This was the buy. You should have closed it here for profit, not the first one, this one. Close for profit, put an entry here. That entry is no longer valid, take it off. Right, because it's a deep pullback, so now we will look for something else. Could this drop from this level? Could this be the running flat? And drop, absolutely. If we get a flag here, we'll sell. If it goes back up and make another one, we'll still look for the sell. So I don't think the buy is any more interesting. We're looking for the sell setup. Unless this proves that this is going to take off like a rocket to the upside, which means it has to break this stop and then consolidate. Right? We'll have to break this stop here. Go above that, then consolidate here, and that will confirm the total upside. As of now, we're looking at a possible running flat, one more down and then up. So let's go. By the way, there's a question someone asked me, why I keep saying break the low and then go back up, or break the top and then go back up. And he was asking whether it's to get liquidity. Okay, very quick. I am not into any conspiracy of the market. The market is not conspiring against you, me, or anybody. The market moves towards orders, right? Just very quick. I'm going to take a break here. I think this is an educational part for you. Orders are being filled. So let's say you were a big trader of Euro Swiss. Let's say you would like to buy, I don't know, 1 billion Swiss. What you would do is you will call your broker, your bank, whoever is doing that for you. Most likely it's a bank where you're doing that, or whether you have access directly to the banking platform, then you're going to put your orders in. You will call them and say, you know what? I would like to buy Swiss, but I would like to buy it at this level. Let's say Swiss is here today. You would tell your banker, you know what? I would like to buy if it comes back to this level. So they will put an order in there. Everybody who would like to buy will put their orders wherever they want to put it. And then everybody who would sell will put their orders where they would like to put it. But guess what? If all the sell orders are here and all the buy orders are here, nothing happens, right? At some point, this has to go up or this has to come down. So let's say you wanted more than, you want to buy more than the people who want to sell. You will probably change your order to get where the selling is, because your banker will call you back and say, hey, we can actually buy for you, but the price is higher. We can only buy at that price. Nobody is selling below that price. There's no order to sell below that price. Or you know what? We will wait until somebody accepts your order here. And then somebody from here who would like to sell needs to sell earlier. So he will accept the order here. And that is why the market will move up and down and up and down. And then at some point here, there is a much bigger order to buy and there is little order to sell. And that means market will go up because you would have to find the sellers, right? The price will go up because nobody is selling and everybody wants to buy. There's not everybody, but the orders, the size of the order, it could be a single person. It could be a single entity, a single bank, a single whatever. It's the size of the orders to buy are bigger, right? So there's a demand. You've created a demand. And if there's a demand, price goes up, right? So the value of whatever you want to buy gets bigger. If more people want to sell, then the sell orders will be bigger and then it's going to go down. It's a natural way market works, demand and supply, right? But in terms of currency, you shouldn't say demand and supply because currency circulates. It should be size of the orders at the moment. There is never a shortage of a currency. And the reason there's no shortage of the currency is because it circulates. So currencies are, the banks only use numbers. They don't necessarily have to have the currency with them. They only use numbers to trade. They can take loan and trade that number. They can borrow and trade. So they don't really have to have the cash in their hand to trade it to you, to sell it or buy it for you. Right? It's more of numbers dealing. So there is never a shortage of any currency. And there's never an over demand of it. Right? Economic reason might make it go up and down, but it's not because because it flows in circle. It's a non-stop flowing currency. It's not like you take it out and you keep it in your pocket. Right? So it's not so much the demand and the supply in terms of the amount of currency in the market, but of the demand of it. Somebody wants to buy it and somebody wants to sell it. That's what is creating the market. The demand to buy, the demand to sell. That is the size of the orders, right? Not a shortage. It's not like corn. There's no corn in the market. Yes, price gets expensive, right? There's a demand and there's no corn, right? That's a different way of understanding supply and demand, right? Or it's season for corn. Everybody's harvesting corn, so it gets cheap. Currency understanding of supply and demand is more about the orders that are flowing in. And orders could flow in for any reason. It could be you really need it. It could be you're speculating in it. It could be there's a hedge fund speculating in it. They don't really need it, but it's just speculating by putting orders. Create a certain demand or create, they can put whatever order they can. There's an option somewhere that's creating that movement. There's many, many reasons that could happen. So when we're not looking as to why it goes here or why it goes up. What we're looking for, when I said I wanted to break a low or break a top, is I'm saying to you, I've seen this pattern before. And for this pattern to complete itself, the way it completes itself in the past 100 times, this is how it behaves. And if the market behave like that again, we will be looking to take advantage of that. That is what I'm saying to you when I said break top and bottom. I have no reason, I have no idea why the heck they do it. I don't need to know why. I need to know what is happening and how I can take advantage of it. That's all. Once you understand that, and once you understand all the patterns that exist, and you have a clear vision of how they develop, you're able to take advantage of it. So I hope that answered your question. Let's go. Euro yen. Yep, you can get a sell setup if it drops. It's a one short trade. If this drop, it's going to drop to break this low. That's all, because then there's a chance they're coming back to the top. And it's all about the pattern. It's all about what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this pattern. And I'm saying, I've seen that type of consolidation before. You know where I've seen it? Let me show you. Here's a good example. I've seen this one. 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 See this one here? It's very similar to that one. What happened? They came in, they went out. What happened to this one? They came in, they went out. What happened to this one? They came in, they went out. They came into this one, they went out of it. They came into this one, what is going to happen? They're going to go out of it. See? It's a probability game, understanding them. Now, what I showed you there is the simplest form of what you can do. Don't try to do it that way, because this thing could drop, and I'll tell you, you wouldn't understand whether this is a pattern to drop or not. We would look at that, and then we said, you know what, wait a second. I can see this is a consolidation, but it's a one to drop. So here is a good example of that. You see this here, this didn't go out. And then you start to say, well, why did it go out? And then you start to look at the different way this pattern forms into this piece, right? The way these patterns form, the way these patterns form. It was a slow, slow, slow drop. You probably wouldn't even sell it because you would assume it's going to go, but it's a slow, slow drop to this level. See? So you have to understand each piece of the pattern and figure out what it's doing right now. So right now, what we think is this piece is coming down, although we think it's upside. What we see is this piece looks like it can drop to this level. And then from that point, we'll expect it to probably go back up. So if we get a buy, so what if it consolidates here? We'll sell. What if it consolidates here? We'll sell. What if it consolidates here? We'll sell. But as of now, the big structure for us is still upside. See? This short trade is a short sell from there to there. So go back to the 1 hour and look for that short sell setup that we're looking for. We have a short sell setup. We'll see if we get it. If it starts going up from here, we don't have a bias. There's a small one here, but that's not a buy. Not as yet. Pangos, this is a perfect sell setup, and this is what we're looking for yesterday, right? Will we get that trade? I don't know. If they break out of this, we're selling to this level. Can it actually go back higher like this? It can. But that changes the trade. Well, if it does that, it has to come back down, and then we're looking for buys. So if it does that, it has to come back here. And now we'll be looking for a buy setup. See? So it's not as simple as you might see it. You see what I show you because I'm showing you the simple explanation of it, right? I've already done all the hard stuff and I'm showing you what we expect to happen now. Right? It's a little more complex than that. And that's what we train our traders to do, understand the complexity of it. Pankat. Yep. This broke out, didn't go anywhere. You didn't get in the trade, it didn't tag you. It's still in the consolidation here. See, we're still in this consolidation zone. It made a sharp drop and it's going back up. Yeah, that's a buy setup. Actually, if this does a flag here, you can take it back to the top there. There's a chance it might still come back here before it goes. And there's a chance it could break out. So if you take this trade, if you take this buy setup to that top, you'd have to be able to manage it in case they just come back and drop straight back here, go back up, maybe even come back here and then go. Right, there's a chance this could be a much bigger correction for me. Or it's going to take off right now. It's still a buy setup as of now. Pound Swiss. Yeah, we're looking for the sell on this, and it looks like we will get the sell setup today. As soon as this pulls back here, we're going to be looking at this as a possible sell setup. Come to retest back this low. And then from there, we'll see what happens because you're in this bigger structure. See? See the structure, how they drop? This one drop, this one drop, this one drop. This is a nice one to sell. If we get a small flag there, we'll expect a drop, and then we'll see if they make a bigger one and then drop and make a bigger one and then drop here and then go back up. See? So that's what we're looking for. If we get a flag, we'll be selling. Seems like we'll get a flag here today for the sell setup. Pang Yen. So if you sold it, you closed it. If you sold, this was an aggressive sell. This was a safe sell. I showed you the safe sell yesterday, and the aggressive sell was the one in our trading room because only there we can manage trades like these, right? So that's a trade close or positive. We took it. It didn't go. It didn't go. It didn't go. You're out of that trade because there's a chance this is going to go back up. There's a very good chance that this consolidates here and go higher. We're not interested in the buy. I'm definitely not interested in the buy. We're interested in the sell. So this entry stays here. It's still valid. Pound New Zealand. Okay, pull that. That's not valid anymore because you're consolidating here. And if you want to take this one, you have to be aware that it might not break the top. It might just do this and still pull back for a bigger flat. Right? If you understand that, then you can go ahead. If you don't take that trade. Aussie yen. Okay, the sell on the Aussie yen. If you took it, you close that trade here. That trade should have been closed there immediately. If you close that, you took the profit, it go back up. We can look for a buy setup here today. There's a good chance we broke the low. We have divergence. We'll be looking for a buy setup above this. Yep, let's see if that goes up to the top here now. If that goes, we're coming to break this top. Right, this is a buy setup forming here. And if that goes out of it, we're coming to retest that top. So is it going to go? We don't know. That's a high probability trade. Would it go? We'll see. If this crawls down lower, that trade is off, right? If this comes lower, we're not selling this, but if it comes lower like this, that trade is off, and I'll show you what happens to that tomorrow. Aussie Swiss. Yeah, stay out of this, take that off. It's not going up now. It will go up. This still consolidation will go up, but it's consolidating more in this range here. So they'll probably consolidate, make a new low, and then go up. Because we're still within the consolidation range. We slightly break that up. I don't think that's all. And if that is all and this is going on so slow, you don't want to sell it. Sell something else. Aussie CAD. This was a sell. This is an old sell. Take it off. That was the top and the bottom. Actually, we can go with a running flat here. I think there's a good chance you can go with a running flat here. There's a possibility you're looking at a running flat there. So if we get a sell setup here, we can go for it. Nope, not a sell setup. Actually, it's not even a buy setup. So we'll just have to wait. Stay out of this. You're kind of in a channel here. I'll put the channel and we will just wait. Right? You don't have anything happening right now there that the seller buy. Take this off. Aussie New Zealand. Well, if you bought, you should be doing good, or you should have closed that trade already. You should have bought here and closed the trade here. Right? If you did, good. If not, just stay out of it. It's going very slow. I think once it gets to the top there, will you see whether they break out or whether they drop? If it's going to drop, it's a good trade. If it breaks out, it's a good trade. If it breaks out, it's going to make a much bigger flat for you to go. Canadian. Going sideways, likelihood this is going to make a new high, and then we're going to drop. But we'll keep an eye out for this bigger trade if we get it. Right, it's more of a bigger trade to the downside. Right now, it's just not a good buy setup, so probably stay out of it for now. Swiss yen. Okay, we're breaking out of this, so we'll probably just go back up for this move, which is not so good. I think we stay out of it for now. This is a move up, but it's not aggressive. See, they pull back, they're pulling back, we just wait. Could it be making a bigger flat here? Maybe. We'll see. We don't have any sell or buy setup on that. New Zealand yen. Take this off. That's the low. It's kind of consolidating here, which means you'll get another drop like this. See this here? You'll probably get another drop like that. Break the low again, and you'll be in this kind of a channel going down. So there's a small sell setup there, just like this. It might be very slow. I just have to be aware that that could be very, very slow if you're going to try to sell it. Not the best idea. You have a lot of divergence. When they channel like that with divergence, they're about to turn. When you get a channel pattern forming like this with a lot of divergence in play, you're about to turn. New Zealand Swiss. Okay, you do have one more here. You do have a sell setup forming here. It could drop. We're looking at this as a possible flat here. Then we'll still have to go with this, which means at some point it's going to go back up and then drop. But you have a trade set up there. You can go for it. It's a very short trade. New Zealand CAD. I think this buy here, if you took it, you manage. I hope you manage to get out for break. Even if not, wait for it to come back and close it. Because you're getting a flat here, and that is a sell setup. Right? If you took it here, it went up this much. If you didn't put it to break even, let's say it come back here, it starts to do this. You start to close the trade somewhere here. You can put a stop here and then move your stop up to close this trade. And then we'd look for the sell setup. Right? Because it's going to drop. So we will probably go with this as the running flat. More of a running flat pattern there. See that? It did break out of this, but it didn't go very violent into the upside. So if that's a running flat, this is a good sell. I'll put this sell here. I'll leave that for you to see how you would close the trade, manage it, get out for a much smaller loss, and then you put the sell here. So we're looking for this sell setup. CAD Swiss. This was a sell that you close, it pulled back. Let's see what happens here. Nothing. It's still sideways. We don't have a buy or a sell, so we'll stay out of it. And this one pull back. So if you bought this, we close it, put an entry here. We'll go with the possibility that it's making a running flat. Right, we'll go with a possible running flat. The reason we buy it was that if the running flat is going to be extended, right? Which is a good idea. Now that they're pulling back, we'll go with a running flat. That's still a buy setup with a stop here for the next impulse to the upside. What if it's actually coming down from that point? Well, if it is, we'll have to wait for a flag to sell. We don't have that. So right now it's more of a buy setup. I'm going to go very quick now. UK oil. This was your buy. This was the take off the buy. It's not valid anymore. This buy already closed. I'll take that off. This buy already closed. Take that off. This was the top. Take it off. I'm going to clear out some things from here. This was a buy here. Take that off. Could we be starting the sell setup here now? Well, I don't know. Remember, we thought this one could start the sell setup until we get back to the top. We're doing the same thing here. So if this actually goes back to the top here, you might drop again, make another flat like that, and then go back up one more like this. See? So we'll have to wait and see whether that happens. If it consolidates to the bottom here, we'll sell, which means if this consolidation come back here, this is a sell setup. So what I would say is let's put an entry order in for the sell right now. And we only take this off if this goes higher. While it's at the bottom there, it's still very valid. Right? Remember, we had one here for this piece until it went up to the top. We were going to repeat the same thing here. If this drops right now, you want the trade. If it goes higher, we'll take it off. We have a lot of time to take it off if it goes higher. We're not buying into this as yet, right? US oil. This is pretty close. I think we take this off because this looks like it's going to come down. You have a 1, 2, 3 there. They'll probably drop here and then go. It looks more upside than downside. I'll take these two off too. Those were buys, right? And this is the top, so I'll take that off. Right now, this is looking more upside than downside, this whole piece here, right? If you take this whole piece to be the consolidation, it looks like this might do something like this and still go up. So we'll wait to see if it comes back here and then look for a buy from that level. Don't buy it at the top. It's not a good idea because if they just tag the top, they'll pull you straight down, right? It looks like some kind of an expansion. So I'm going to put it like an expanding or running flat or a bigger running flat or something like this. And if it comes, it might even break the top first. I can literally see them probably just tagging this top and then coming back here. So from here, if we get a trade, we'll go for it. Natural gas? Nothing, stay away from that. US 30? It's consolidating. And yesterday we were saying this consolidation could be for upside or for downside, depending on how you look at this piece, right? Depending on how you look at this piece. You can look at a 1, 2, and this is going up. Or you can look at 1, 2, 3, and this comes down. So today we will know this entry order for a sell is still valid. We'll watch what happens at the top there. We saw this, but we didn't buy. You're not buying into this. But if they consolidate above here, we're going to take that trade up. If they drop lower and they consolidate here, we're going to sell it earlier. So we wait for that. Same thing for S&P 500. Same for NASDAQ, right? If they consolidate here, we buy. If it drops, we look for an earlier sell. PayPal. Okay, if PayPal starts to go up, you want to buy. You definitely want to buy this because the up move is huge. The up move is literally coming back to this stop. So if the up move starts, and it might have started already, wait for a flag and buy. You actually have a flag here right now. If you're going to go for this one, that's a small one. I'll probably wait for a bigger one just to be sure. If you're going to go for that one, use a stop under the low and manage it very carefully. I'll probably wait for a bigger one, right? So I'll just take this off so you know, I'll probably wait for a bigger one. But if you're an aggressive trader, you can go with that. DAX, wait for it to go up and then we'll look for the sell. It doesn't look like this one is going to go break the top, right? It's more like all the other indexes. We'll have to see if it drops. Nifty, consolidating. It looks like it's consolidating but going up. This is sharp and this is sharp. So I think we have a lot more to wait to see whether this does this and then come back here. It's not quite a buy setup as yet. Amazon. Okay, it's going back up. So that might be a buy setup. If you get a buy setup here, that would be a good trade. Let's go to the 1 hour. No, we don't. We don't have it. If this comes lower, if it drops lower here, and make a flag, we'll sell or put an entry for a sell here. That is if it drops through the bottom, right? So an entry for a sell is valid. I'll take the sell out. Put an entry for a sell. It's valid if this is a big flat. Sometimes the flat makes a spike and then drop. But if they consolidate above this level, if you get a consolidation here, we'll go for that trade. Tesla. Yep, you can look for the buy. See? If this consolidator and it is consolidating, you can go for this trade upwards. Maybe not as big a consolidation as that, but maybe something like this would work. A little more consolidation here, and then you go for that trade up. Copper drops, so just stay away from it. It's useless. It's pretty much, it's not giving you any good setups, not for the buy, not for the sell. It's in a sideways move, leave it alone. Bitcoin. Okay. So it didn't come down like we expected, right? We were expecting this to drop at least at this level and then look for the buy if it happens, right? If it's going to go. So if this is still going to go, you'd want it to come here, break that low, and then go. That would be the perfect buy setup. It actually didn't do that. So I would probably look at it this way. This is still in the consolidation. I still look at that as part of a consolidation now. You do have a flat here. Here's the problem with this is all it has to do is break this and then come back here before they go. So this would be a perfect running flat if that happens. So this is your risk if you're going to buy this, is you have to be aware that it could come back from all the way from there to about this, which is a pretty risky thing to do. Depends on the volume you're buying, right? If you're a big buyer for a longer term, I think you should start buying from the lows here. If you're not, probably wait for it to come back here and then look for your buy setup. Right, so let's see. I think they're consolidating for the upside because this move looks very much and they're consolidating at the top of the move. This is the 50% of that move. So that looks more upside than downside. Ethereum also didn't pull back. Same thing, we're expecting this to pull back. You kind of do this in this move. And this is the up move. So you probably wanted to come back here, make a running flat, and then we'll go for that trade. That would make more sense to me, right? So let's see if that happens. ADA, this is just going sideways. So probably, actually you're getting a big flat here, which means we're not going anywhere. And if you look at this piece here separate, that's a 1, 2, you need a 3 here, then you need to go back up, then you need to come back down, then you need to go back up, then you need to drop. This is how I see that pattern developing. Same here. You actually went up a little more, but you're still in the consolidation. Right? You're still in this consolidation because this up move and this here has to come back here to make this flat, then go back there and then drop. So you will be in these sideways for a longer period of time. If you're trading in the lower time frame, you can take advantage of that. I think this is going to drop, but it's not going to drop to the bottom. See, this looks like it could come here, but it's probably going to go back up and then drop. It could stay there longer, but that's what I'm looking. Still a sell setup eventually, right? Same here. You can see that this is already making a 1, 2, 3, come back, go back up like this, come back down, go back up, and then drop. So you're consolidating in the lower end of it, which is good. It's still downside. This is the only one that drops so much, and now it's pulling back. So we'll probably go with a running flat here. I'll probably go with this as a running flat. So go up a little more there and then drop. Okay, we're the top half of this, the top half of this move, and we're consolidating in here, but it's consolidating downwards. See, this one is kind of coming down here somewhere. And then look for the up move. Let it come down, break this low here, and then look for the up move. AVA, still a sell setup. And you can see that this one here is still a sell setup. It is consolidating. You're getting this consolidation here. Short term, maybe buy. Very short term, maybe buy here. But this whole piece, you have to come back here, kind of go back up there, and then eventually you get this for downside. They're just consolidating. They're not really going anywhere right now. Same here. Same here. Same here. Same consolidation. These are all consolidation. This one is doing perfect. This one is going up back to break this up. And then you get this, and then you get this piece here. So probably you can get a drop from there. Dot, same thing. Actually, it broke this low. It came to this low here. Broke there. I hope nobody got tagged on that one, because once it go back up and drop like this, you're looking 1, 2, 3. So this is the impulse. You've got this flat in here. You can get another impulse up, and then you should come back down, because this is the bigger flat for downside. So you probably go one more down. There's a chance you probably go one more down from here. Let's see what the bigger picture was at 4 hour. Where did this line came from? Okay, we're looking for the upside, right? For this to finish this structure and go up, but it could still drop a little more, right? I could still see them come back a little here and then go. It still makes that possibility. And dash. Same here. Let's see the 1 hour. Yeah, structurally, this is a buy now. See, take this out. You have a flat here. You have an impulse up. You have 1, 2, 3 running flat. I think we broke that top. This is a buy setup. So is it from a low? We'll have to see where this low is. And then, yep, that is a good low to go with. So this should be a good buy. And actually, this could work its way back all the way back to the top here, before it comes back down here and then go. Could this one take off to the top? Rare. It's possible, but it's rare. It's most likely to come back to just about this top, which is around 320, 308, 208 area, and then come back to the low, slowly come back to this level and then go up. The move down could be slow and then upside once that pattern is completed. Weekly, you'll see what I'm showing you. I think there's a weekly flat forming here, right? This one came down, pull back, came down, pull back, came down. You went up. You're doing the same thing here. Go back up, pull back down here, and then take off. So there is a buy setup here in the 1 hour to go for this trade. And then I think you probably work your way down like this and then probably up. Because this would finish the 1, the 2, and then go for the 3. So you can trade. Go to the 1 hour and get the buy setup. And the breakout of this should give you a move to the upside. If you get a flag here, that'd be a good buy. So okay, guys, I think I've completed this. Thank you very much. This would be on YouTube. If you manage to be till to the end, make sure you like it if you find it interesting, and share as much as you can. Thank you very much.